I wanted to make a video for my community that addressed the reasons why I think you should stop playing what game you're playing and play Classic World of Warcraft on August 26th. For people who don't know me, my name's Cubit. I started streaming Minecraft about 6 months ago when a friend and I from Stay Safe's Minecraft server built the Dark Portal in survival mode next to spawn. Now, from what I can tell, the community that has watched me over the past few months seems pretty uninterested in the launch of Classic WoW. So, through the lens of a Minecraft player, I wanted to address two big questions. Question 1, why would you enjoy World of Warcraft? And question 2, why should you play World of Warcraft now? Before we get any further, I wanted to stop and address those of you that might try to use the bad computer. In order to hold true to their no changes testament, Blizzard has made their system requirements the same as it was in 2004. Through optimization, just about any computer could run this game, except for maybe Google's. Thankfully, we were provided helpful and insightful information from Reddit on where to find all this. It runs on common household appliances, vacuum cleaners, egg cookers, but most popular at the moment, toasters. Alexa, play World of Warcraft Classic. I'm running WoW on a Commodore 64 with 64K internet connection using AOL dial-up service. I'm playing on a TI-81 graphing calculator. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get back to question 1. Why would you enjoy this game? So, I broke question 1 up into 4 major aspects of the game that I enjoy. High difficulty, intense PvP, huge immersive world, and builds connection with others. Starting off with high difficulty. First off, as people all over the world gear up to pull all-nighters for the relaunch of a 15-year-old game, we can address the physical and mental challenge some players choose to make in order to get ahead of others. Now, the amount of content for new players to engage in can kind of feel a little overwhelming, but in a way, that's the point of the game, to allow players to play in any way they so choose. There are multiple race and class choices that you have to make when creating your character. When it comes to choosing, I would consider what type of gameplay in Minecraft you enjoy. Each class has its own distinct talent tree. Look at the difference between 2 ranged casters, a priest and a mage. You will no doubt feel a little overwhelmed at times, but the key is to be able to just look things up when you have a question. The key is to look up what to do and what to avoid, things like doing professions while leveling. So for professions and secondary professions, they tend to get ignored by speed levelers because it takes away from your time and inventory space. Intense PvP. For PvP, I won't tell you what faction to join, but I will say that new players will obviously be at a disadvantage to experienced players, which include returning vets and private server players who have been able to practice the same game for years. However, a lot of those high-end players will probably stick to the highest population servers. So, I would strongly suggest playing on a medium population server if it's your first time playing. This will help you be able to see people of your own faction as well as a few of the enemy faction, and you'd probably be a little bit less overwhelmed than on a full server or a high population server. So, in my opinion, I would say that in Classic WoW, you have the best choice-based success PvP ever. And what that means is that since we've progressed in video games since 2006, they've actually taken away our range of abilities in order to optimize games for mobile devices. I think Classic WoW is on the opposite end of the spectrum because it was made for PC and Mac players. And I would argue that this is probably the best PC game that I've ever played. While it can be frustrating when you get attacked from what seems like nowhere, PvP is more rewarding than Minecraft PvP. Despite not losing your stuff when you die, the class selection will have a huge impact on how you play the game, and depending on your class, you will need to be successful by using your abilities against other classes. The world itself is absolutely massive and could take a player hours in order to travel across one of its continents on foot. This makes getting your riding mount at 40 and even faster mount at 60 so important in order to get an advantage over other players. Similar to Minecraft, the world is so engaging with some of the zone design that even back in 2006, I found myself wandering zones, unlocking new portions of my map, and seeing what just lied over the next hill only to find a pack of hungry raptors chasing me out. The mobs change depending on the zones, which give the entire world a very engaging and captivating setting. A trip to the forums is all it takes to see that Blizzard has paid almost nothing in order to advertise this game and has allowed it to grow naturally, yet they have server queues in some server up to 10,000 people long. Take a look at this clip of some of the few advertisements they did send out of the original developer.
That sense of exploration and discovery and the sense of the unknown.
And at some point during gameplay, it's like, whatever that initial thing was that grabbed you the first time 15 years ago, it just kind of grabs you again.
I need heals. I need heals.
I don't have it. Oh, you're going down.
Oh my god. There's the pillagers.
I still feel like so much of the magic is here in the game, and I wasn't actually expecting that. Yeah, how much it holds up, and how much of the things that kind of drew me into the game are still there.
Believe it or not, you will actually make friends playing this game. In order to complete some quests, you will need to team up with other players in order to complete tasks. This includes running 5-person dungeons against epic mobs for rare loot, completing bounties against epic level mobs for their reward, or maybe just questing together to speed things up. Provided you're on the same server, you can go anywhere in the world to find someone else. Certain zones have higher level mobs than others, which makes it very risky as a low level player to travel outside of certain zones until you level up. But this does mean you have the ability to interact with streamers on your server in the same way that you do on a Minecraft server. The open world allows you to create your own adventure, and you will make friends along the way. As you progress around the world, you'll start to see familiar names of other players that you may or may not have engaged in. How you treat others and act will eventually become very important, because you might get away with stealing other people's loot during a 5-man dungeon every now and again, but eventually people will remember your name, and you won't be getting invited to dungeons or raid groups by your peers anymore. So this also includes the enemy faction as well, because your choice on whether or not to attack them will also have consequences. So, to wrap up question 1, why do I think you would enjoy Classic World of Warcraft? It has a high level of difficulty, it has intense PvP, it has a huge immersive world, and you will build connections with others. Question 2, why you should play the game sooner than later. As I've already previously addressed, this game constantly brings you face to face with the enemy faction, and having a higher level than your opponent puts you at a serious advantage in PvP. While a lot of players may be rushing to level 60 on high or full population servers, I don't think there will be as many quick levelers on medium population servers. What is most important is that this game is set for 6 content phases, which increase the incentive for world PvP a few months after launch, which means it will be significantly harder to level your character come phase 2. The easiest time to level your character will be now. So, once you get your max level character, that's when you unlock even more content to do. For example, 20 or even 40-person raids to take out endgame bosses. Looking back, when I played original World of Warcraft as a young 14-year-old lad, I was at a serious disadvantage. The game was at the end of a 2-year run, and it was just before the first expansion pack was set to come out. Since everyone was already max level, it was very difficult for me to level in contested zones. And even though I only got to level 40, I still loved the game, and it set a standard for video games that has never been beat. Only Minecraft has come close. I really appreciate that I got to experience what I did at that age, and that I got to be a part of the WoW culture over the last 12 years. So I think this is a golden ticket opportunity to replay this game again. And I would regret if I didn't tell you guys to at least try this game, because I really think you will miss out on a great experience if you don't. So, if you like this video, please consider liking or subscribing, or don't.